Welcome to the Heavy Metal Marksman podcast. I am Dave Candido, your host, and this is my pal Ian. We are going to talk about some vinyl today. Some pretty great selections here, very different from each other. We got Black Label Society, 1919 Eternal, and of course, Nuns and Roaches, and then a band that is just very much not like Black Label Society at all, Blood Incantation. Two different releases here, Time Wave Zero and Absolute Elsewhere. Fantastic records, if I may. I'm a huge lover of BLS and a very new fan of Blood Incantation. And those two I actually got from my pal Ian here. Showed up at my door. Thank goodness that they showed up okay because they are just fantastic records. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So, Ian, I know you've probably been a fan of Black Label longer than I have, but I don't know. We'll go over Nuns and Roaches. What do you think about that one?
That's in like an early recordings, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't want to say B-sides. It's just like
I know it came out. It came out in what, like
previously
2019?
unreleased. Yeah, it's not on CD. It's only on this vinyl. And
yeah, because it was sounding just like stuff from like Pride and Glory, and like his early years.
Yeah, Pride and Glory. The to me, it sounded like I was gonna say pre 1919 Eternal. Probably like the I guess Sonic Brew. But no, it was pretty refreshing for me because as a huge Black Label Society is probably my favorite band.
Yeah.
Like if I had to choose a band that I could listen to and nothing else for the rest of my life, it'd probably be BLS. And
so I've always said that about like CCR for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't even know why, because it's like they're not even like a super metal band. It's just like you play fucking something from the '60s, and you're like, oh, that's right.
Definitely can't go wrong for that era as well. I mean, I think that'd probably be about my choice too. The CCR, anything by John Fogerty, to be honest. Yeah, I saw a video recently where it was something about it was all plagiarisms, like lawsuits on artists that were stealing other artists' shit, and John Fogerty apparently was sued by his label, previous label, for copying his own work on one of the CCR albums, and then he brought his guitar. It was either to an interview or to court. I think it was to court, and he played the song that they said he was ripping off, and then he played his own song on his own solo album. And he's like, you can clearly see that this is not the same song. And the court was like, yeah, he's right. It's pretty hilarious.
I've never heard that one. That's fucking funny.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, this Nuns and Roaches is quite the treat. I bought it originally by itself, and then I ended up buying that None More Black box set, which I'm glad I did because I paid like $250 for it. And I was looking at the eBay listings today, and that thing's like $1,000.
Jesus.
Yeah. And
what about on Discogs? Is that any
Discogs? I didn't look
because I noticed that like certain places it'll be like freaking Joe's Garage. It was like super expensive on Amazon, but I found it for like $50 or $70 or something. Mint condition, freaking 79, I think it is.
Can't go wrong with that. I mean, considering how expensive vinyls are in general, that's really not bad. I almost
that's why I've been using Discogs. Oh, speaking of which, my freaking Kenny Loggins, freaking the guy I guess didn't have any in stock, so he had to refund me. I was pissed.
That sucks. Oh well, it'll find its way to you eventually. Now I really want to pick up the. It was the first Zach Sabbath vinyl that was recorded, and it's live. I think it's live in Detroit or something like that. It's before the Vertigo. I really want to get that, and I almost bought it like 3 years ago, and I didn't because I'm an idiot. But it was like $60. I'm sure it's probably like $200 or something now. But the fuck was I saying? That doesn't matter. I was saying the vinyl prices. I mean, $70 for Joe's Garage. That's I don't think that's bad at all, because I was at Walmart yesterday and I was browsing through their vinyl section, which I am pleased to say that Walmart now sells albums that aren't edited. I don't know for how long they've been doing that, but
I meant to go over there and look just to see what the hell they had, because sometimes they have like, the the 104.1 greatest hits freaking, you know what I mean? Like they'll have some AC/DC freaking one, which actually I got Dirty Deeds, and that's a good freaking album.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine how good that sounds on an analog setup. But yeah, like you go to a place like Walmart and Target, they're gonna have like copies and copies of all the mainstream crap, and then what I've noticed is there's like one or two of a couple things that you're like, I can't believe they have this. I don't like go to bed and wake up listening to Public Enemy, but I mean they're a pretty iconic and good rap group, and they had
and I was listening to freaking Cypress Hill today,
and they had one of their albums there, and it was $40. I'm like,
as long as they're good pressings, that's all I care about.
Yeah, they had that Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and it was another one was $40 and whatnot. So I mean, if Walmart's going to be selling those for that much, then if you can get a good copy that's like an original pressing and stuff for $70, not a big deal at all. But there's a couple vinyl shops that I really want to go to. I haven't yet, largely because I hadn't had the setup. But
I was trying to make another pilgrimage down to frickin' Amoeba.
It's like, do I want to eat, this month, or do I want to buy a bunch of vinyl? Because
buy vinyl.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, that's the thing too. The vinyl's going to be there for you. The food, it goes in, it comes right back out. Especially if you don't have a gallbladder.
It's only good once.
But no, this Nuns and Roaches, the Killing Cross, I thought was fantastic. The whole thing. I mean, it's only 6 songs.
A lot of it kind of blended together to me. Like, I don't know if it was because of the way I was listening to it, but I don't know. It just kind of sounded like that early Southern rock style that he always has. I'm not saying it's bad.
No, of course, but it especially too if it's not what you're really like grooving on at the moment,
that's the way with any
music. I might be, just freaking going nuts with Gojira, and then all of a sudden I'm playing Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I forget that it's even playing. Oh,
I know. I went and was playing By the Way for some reason because I hadn't heard that album in I don't know,
forever.
Yeah, how many years?
Red Hot Chili Peppers. I do like them quite a bit, but I do think they're kind of a silly band. But then again, I mean,
they're kind of
listening to Wesley Willis, so
it's true.
But
I don't think they're that silly. I mean, I don't know if I would use silly, but freaking, they're definitely a odd one.
I guess when I say that, I'm thinking of like how you think about a band that you like, a band that might be super popular or whatever, and you wonder like why are they good, but why do people like them? Because you think like this guy's a terrible vocalist. I guess it's always opinions. It's always opinions.
Unpopular opinion. You mean like The Doors?
God, The Doors is a band that kind of upsets me. Like when it's on, there was a comedian that
had a really funny one-liner or something along the lines of The Doors are one of those bands you realize like suck as an adult. Like you're just like, huh.
The Lizard King. It's like, I don't know. It's like that dude in high school that just did almost too many drugs until he did too many drugs and died. But
just enough. And then went a little too far.
He did just enough to like be mesmerizing and fucking make people buy his music and go to the shows and stuff. And then like maybe eventually like, what was I doing? Oh, I was fucked up,
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a couple Door songs that like I think they're okay. I think they're decent. It's one of those like I think about Nickelback. Like I don't think Nickelback's a bad band at all.
They obviously figured it out.
I
mean, they did something right.
Clearly. And I've heard they put on a really good show. I think my wife was telling me that. I think she'd seen Nickelback like at a Rock and Rio or something.
Yeah, I don't know if I would admit that I've seen Nickelback. If that's on Nickelback.
I mean, it wasn't a headlining show. It's like a festival with 50 bands. But,
no, I know what you're saying.
but either way, no, I like I said, I do love Red Hot Chili Peppers. Blood Sugar Sex Magic. I think that's probably the majority of fans' favorite album by them. But I think it's probably their best. But no. Anyway, I kind of started laughing when I was listening to the White Christmas track. It was on side B. It was track 5 of this Nuns and Roaches. It was so out of control. Like I don't know. It was overall. It's a fun album. It was, like I said, it was refreshing for me because, like I said, favorite band, and their last 3 releases are so different from pretty much everything else that Black Label's released.
You talking about their new stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
oh yeah,
I'm a diehard fan. I'm gonna buy everything they put out, and I'm gonna go to their shows if they're ever close. But I do really love that old BLS. You know, when he didn't like Fred Durst.
when he was drinking.
But no, glad to have that one. But and then of course we have the classic 1919 Eternal here. Another album I'm super glad to have on vinyl. But I mean, you've heard this album a million times. You and I have, and for anybody that hasn't, you need to at least a million. But
what color's your vinyl? Is it purple?
You know, I think it's actually brown.
No, mine's purple.
That's pretty cool. Let's see.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's almost like a Coca-Cola, like Dr. Pepper,
really?
kind of brown.
Jesus, that's kind of like gross.
Better than shit brown.
It reminds me of the water that's in like the cup at the end of the bar. Mine's, I don't know if you can tell it, mine's freaking purple.
Oh yeah. No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's actually
they don't put these goddamn anti-static sleeves in here. Or whatever the heck they're called. What's the plastic in them?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know, actually I got a question. Do you have you needed to, or do you know of like a site? I mean, I was just gonna go on Amazon to be honest, but that has like sleeves for vinyls if you got a vinyl that doesn't have a cover. Discogs.
I can't remember who. If you just Google it, you can probably find them on Amazon.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
That's what I was
where all you got to do is just find the ones that are like the anti-static ones that have like the little plastic thing on the inside.
Yeah,
you can buy like 100 of them for like, I don't know.
I have it's actually right there on my screen, the Exodus, a little box there, but it's an Exodus album that there's 2 vinyls in there, and they have a plastic like thing over it, but I don't know, they're not really stiff, so I thought I'd just get a couple sleeves for them for extra protection or something, but I don't know. I don't think at the end of the day, I think it's okay. What I do need to get is a brush because my vinyls are.
Oh yeah, you can buy fucking anti-static sleeves on Amazon. I just Googled it real quick.
Yeah, but yeah, 1919 Eternal. I think the song I was looking forward to the most listening to on this one was pretty much America the Beautiful or whatever.
Oh, the acoustic.
Yeah, that just don't even see it on here.
I think
America the Beautiful. Yeah.
The first one I listened to, just I don't know why I put on side C for Junkies of the Genocide.
That's got to be my favorite song out of the album. That's one of my favorite Black Label Society songs in general. I think I told you this one time when we were at the bar. It was when I hear that song, I just want to get on a motorcycle and just go fucking like destroy shit. I mean, take or leave the motorcycle, I guess. It's such a fucking pump, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely. I listened to the shit out of this album when I was deployed, and I remember being in the gym and looking at everyone else that was playing whatever. Like again, I don't give a fuck what kind of music you listen to, but it was always like just hip hop or I don't know, dubstep and shit. And I'm just thinking, like, how do you?
That was a weird era, the dubstep era.
Like, how do you pump? You know, how do you get a good pump to this? Like, but you know, to each their own, I guess. But yeah, the Genocide Junkies, 100%. Lost Heaven, that's probably my second favorite song on the album. Bleed for Me, a love. And then, of course, I mean, I like everything else too, but
Bleed for Me is like kind of one of those ones that's been played too much.
Yeah, kind of. Actually, that's the very first.
I'm not saying it's a bad song. It's just I've listened to it. God knows.
Yeah, of course. No, I understand. That's got to be that's actually the first song that I heard Black Label play.
Is it Speedball? That's the acoustic thing where he's just like jamming out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool. I thought, it's on. I was thinking of Taz, but that's on Sonic Brew. I didn't even listen to that today. But
Did you see the Lord Humongous thing he did?
Yes,
video?
I did.
Did you watch the behind the scenes thing? It was pretty.
I didn't
funny.
watch the behind the scenes, but I thought just seeing that the first thing I saw of that, it wasn't even the video, it was a merch, and I was like, Lord Humongous, isn't that Mad Max? I'm like, oh yep, it's pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
but no, great album. There's really not much to be said that we don't already know about that one. It's just a black label classic.
wait, so when did you first get it?
This
Like,
one?
no. I don't mean the vinyl itself. I mean, when did you actually first listen to the album ever?
The
came out late 90s, early 2000s. When was it?
Well, I think Sonic Brew came out in 99. It was either 98 or 99, and this is their third album, so I believe it was like 2001.
Yeah, it doesn't. I was trying to look on fucking.
I'll tell you right here. Let's see. 2002.
Okay. I think I got mine in like 2004.
So the very first Black Label album that I ever got was actually the Blessed Hell Ride, and I just got.
I think I did get Blessed Hell Ride first.
I got it off iTunes. I saw the picture. I thought, oh, it looks pretty cool, and then
I got it. My buddies burned them for me. I had actually, I think I got 1919 first because I got Rain and Blood 1919, and then I think like a Venom album from my buddy. He just
it was at a time where I'd only been listening to metal and shit for a few years. It was like of course, the band that did it for me was Slayer, Angel of Death, the very first like metal song I ever heard, and I was just. From there, I was like, this is like, what has happened? What have I been missing my whole life? And after hearing that, and after hearing a lot of Slayer, I just wanted to find music that was faster and harder, heavier. I went through the motions, or, there was that. I listened to Pantera. Strangely went off and branched off into Tool, which changed my perspective quite a bit, of course. But then I was like, wait a minute. Like, what am I doing? I got to get back on track, with the the heavy shit, and then it was Sepultura and so on and so forth. And
I think too, like your musical shit's kind of at that age when you're like early teens, it's still like ego driven, somewhat, because you're just like, I gotta like the cooler music more
exactly
than this guy does.
Which now is funny because
don't even fucking care.
What's kind of hilarious too, because I've really never found like more than like 3 or 4 people that really like the same music as me especially when it comes to metal, because 9 times out of 10, I meet someone or whatever in the military. No one liked the same music as me in the military. Even the guys are like, I love metal. I'm like, oh, do you like Death? You ever heard of Death? I don't really like them. I'm like, well, what kind of metal do you like?
Do you even know?
Really like Five Finger Death Punch? I'm like, it's like, I'm not gonna knock on someone for listening to shit that they really like, but when they start saying, like the same old shit, I like it real heavy, and it's like, what do they listen to? Papa Roach, and you're like, I thought we had something there.
No.
But it is what it is, But no, it's I was like I said, I was looking for just heavier, faster, blah blah blah, and I came across the Blessed Hell Ride. And it was on iTunes. It was a digital download. I played a few songs, and because it wasn't thrash and it wasn't super fast and everything, I just kind of put it on I put it off to the side for a while. And then it wasn't until like 2015 that I found a copy of Sonic Brew in Rasputin's, and then picked it up. I listened to it. I thought, this is actually pretty cool.
It was always kind of like, what was it? Because it was Sonic Brew was their first, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I didn't really actually start like really liking them until 1919, like as far as their albums went. Because isn't that their
1919 is their third? So my favorite album by Black Label Society, Stronger Than Death.
Okay, so Stronger Than Death would have been the era that I started like liking the sound more, because he kind of came into his sound, that the whole biker metal fucking.
Yeah, man. I gotta say too, like I don't know how anyone who says they like rock and roll, metal, blues, whatever, southern rock. I don't know how Stronger Than Death would not be in like their top 10, like or something.
Closed-minded half the time.
Everybody's.
You got to think like a lot of fucking music is like it's the image that people want. You know what I mean?
Course.
Like with punk rock, they want to wear fucking clothespins and blue hair or something. You know what I mean? And they might know a couple of songs by like Green Day or something, but
I actually don't mind Dookie, but that's it. And it's not even that I think it's like a fantastic album. It's really pretty juvenile and crappy, but it's just that thing of, hey, it's Green Day. This is Dookie. They got real popular because of this.
Yeah.
But
I freaking never, not like I'm saying like I'm some great person for never really listening to Green Day, but I just never really got into them.
I think everything after that was pretty lame. It really is. Dookie's lame. It's just, I don't know. It's the same thing. Like, I can't say that like Dookie's not worth a listen if I'm going to listen to, again, Wesley Willis, 9 times a day. And why is that? I don't know, because I'm insane. But
you just got to think for Batman.
Exactly. And not only that, but Wesley Willis had to have done something right in his life because he made it into a Wonder Woman comic book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a pretty big.
Is it Wonder Woman?
Yeah. Pretty big accomplishment for a guy who makes really terrible music.
I guess it wasn't that terrible.
No. And Rock and Roll McDonald's, that's always going to be a super hit.
Oh, I know.
That's one of those ones that'll get stuck in my head. And, I wake up in the morning with just automatic Rock and Roll McDonald's. McDonald's make you fat. And I'm going, God damn it, what's wrong with me? But
he's not lying. I mean, yeah. McDonald's, you're going to get fat.
I got to say, dude, when's the last time you went to McDonald's? If you even know.
Maybe. Well, no, I know because it wasn't that long ago, but because of the surgery that I had, I was out for like a week, so I think it's been at least over a week.
It's probably been a month for me. And prior to that,
see, I got a kid, and he likes fucking,
Oh, sure.
Happy Meals, bro. That's my defense.
I mean, I'm not judging, man. No,
do it.
In my town here, there's a McDonald's, there's a Burger King, which I go far less than I've gone to McDonald's. There's
I haven't been to a Burger Bang in a while.
There's a Sonic, there's a Wendy's, there's an Arby's.
Wendy's is always good. Arby's is
so the Arby's here is actually pretty fantastic. I hadn't gone to it in years, like because I just was never interested. I had Arby's back in California and I never really liked it. I thought I can make a roast beef sandwich at home. But here it's like sometimes it comes
home, really. I mean, when you think about it,
I know sometimes it comes down to like, it's 11:30 p.m. Nothing's open. Arby's is open.
I mean, you have a strong point.
That's kind of like why that happened. And of course, we get it and we're like, oh man, this actually isn't that bad. Holy shit.
I used to do that with Jack in the Box when I lived down south.
Oh,
because it was like within walking distance.
But yeah, there's that. And then we also have a burger restaurant here called Culver's, which I don't think they're on the West Coast at all. But they make a fantastic burger. And the two in town that are going to be your best bets for a burger are going to be Culver's and Wendy's. But my wife freaking loves the I almost feel bad for introducing her to some of the things that I have. Like it's like offering somebody drugs and you're like,
we have Wendy's.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
You ever had a bacon double cheeseburger?
Yeah, she
it's had real.
Had that Baconator, and it was all downhill from there. But
yeah, it happens, dude. It was same for me.
But no, the McDonald's. Oh my god, dude! I
mainline like 2 or 3 of those things.
Every time I go to McDonald's, I'm like upset, and I'm upset at myself. Like, you knew there was better choices, and here you went.
Yeah, what are you gonna do though?
But part of it really is the one in our town. It's just terrible. It's so bad.
Well, it's like Chipotle's. Chipotle's fucking
used to be
amazing, and then something happened, and I don't know what happened exactly, but it's like some of the franchises just were not that good compared to others.
Oh, gosh, McDonald's owned Chipotle for a while. Now they don't.
Oh, they don't? I thought,
No,
because I know they bought them like really early on.
they own like the majority of their stock or something like that, or something where they pretty much owned them, and then now they don't, and now it's just Chipotle again. That said, it's like the kind of funny thing is here in Warrensburg where Chipotle is, it's like you got Chipotle right across the street, Taco Bell right next to Taco Bell, a Mexican restaurant, and it's like anytime you think about going to either Taco Bell or Chipotle, it's like you just look out your window and you're like, I can go right over there and probably for the same price or less, I get more food.
Yeah,
That's
like,
probably better.
Today.
But I'm still guilty of going to Chipotle now and then, but it's really not that often just because of that value of what you're getting. But if it's closer, though,
so I think
you don't feel like going
next we should talk about the glorious frickin' what do they call them? A rock trio. Frickin' Rush.
Oh gosh. There was a big glare on there. I couldn't
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was thinking about it in my head. I was just like, we should probably talk about Rush first before we talk about Blood Incantation, because I kind of think it
2112.
Yeah, I kind of think it like goes into it. Because 2112, fucking, I don't remember when I got that. When I originally freaking found it and was like listening to it.
I haven't listened to that one on vinyl yet, but either way, it's fantastic.
I listened to the first side, and then the second side I listened to on the speakers. But there's I actually really like the second side too. There's some good songs on there. I'm trying to freaking.
Rush is a band that I really think was like far ahead of their time.
They're aliens, bro. You didn't know
that? It was such a bummer when Neil Peart passed away, because I was like, well,
there's another band I'll never be able to see.
Yeah, exactly. Them, Motorhead.
Oh, I was glad I got to see Lemmy before he died.
I had many opportunities and I took none of them.
Kind
of like Guar, even though you can still see Guar, which I'm probably going to see Guar next month.
See, both times I was going to see Guar, I think Flatus died the first time I was going to see him, like right before the show I was supposed to see, and then the second one, Dave Brocky died. Like, so I was just like, well, I guess I'm just not supposed to see Guar.
I guess not.
I have to apologize to the gods because I think I accidentally killed Dave Brocky somehow. I got that on my conscience.
I had the opportunity. I didn't take it. It was back in 2017 when I first got to Whiteman. I went and saw Psycho Stick and in KC, and that was fantastic. And the next day, Guar and Ghoul were playing. And
Ghoul would have been cool.
Oh, I know. I look back on that and I feel like a jackass for not going just for the sake of not seeing Ghoul. But eventually I did see Guar, and that was with Toxic Holocaust and Sacred Reich, and that was a really cool show. Toxic, I would say, stole the show.
Psycho? Did you say Psycho Stick earlier?
Earlier, the Psycho Stick show I saw was just Psycho Stick. There was two other bands that were there. I don't remember who they were.
No, it's funny because I saw them on the East Coast a long time ago.
In fact,
when their first album came out.
I think I'm going to be seeing Psycho Stick in KC in August, actually.
So, kind of fun. So for frickin' side one on Rush, did you get the like a little bit of the, like Joe's Garage vibes?
Man, I haven't listened to it on vinyl yet.
No. I mean, like, it doesn't matter on vinyl or not. You can just listen to the damn.
Well,
song.
That's true.
I'm talking mainly like the end of it, the whole grand finale where they're just like, we have assumed control.
It's like a rock opera kind of thing, like there's a story that's told, and it's like I don't know
about like the concept albums.
Yeah. Just immersive. It's that album that you want to sit down on your couch and like lock your doors and
I do that all the time now.
Turn your phone off and yeah, exactly.
No, it's what's funny is like I think the first album or the first side's freaking obviously amazing, but what's funny is like the Twilight Zone on side 2. That's a hella good song. Like, I mean, they're all really good. I always feel like Passage to Bangkok is a little bit racist, but just because they play like the Asian thing at the beginning, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, that's funny.
I have some of my Rush mixed up. Actually, I'm ashamed to admit, but that's largely because this might come across as an excuse, but a particular woman that I dated that you know of, who is twice my age,
Jimmy Dean.
Yes, Jimmy Dean. That's a perfect name for her. She had a greatest hits of Rush, and she played it every fucking day.
It sounds like my dad, like where he would get the greatest hits of something, and you'd just be subjected to that album for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, and, it was like one of those things. Which one do you want to hear next? I'm like, the sound of that disc fucking shattering on the floor. That's what I want to hear next.
I don't know how many times I can hear Tom Sawyer. I get it; it's a good song, but there's many others.
I'm like, all right, man. Anything else, for God's sake? That and anyway.
That's how it was like when I was working at the trash place when I was a mechanic, and freaking because all we had, I was at the trash. I was a trash man, and
fucking trash ass, fucking trash.
No, freaking we had that like old late 90s, early 2000s giant CD player that every high school kid had in fucking 99. It just looks
the 5
ridiculous.
Disc changer.
Yeah, exactly. And at the time, it was like a tape deck and shit. So like all we could listen to was 104.1 The Hawk, and I don't know how many times I listened to Steve Miller Band,
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
and it was like Led Zeppelin's got a lot of nice songs, but for some reason you've heard fucking Immigrant Song, 80 million times in your life.
Perfect example is I cannot listen to Money by itself. Like if I'm listening to Dark Side of the Moon, I love the song. I listen to it. I'm loving it. It's great.
Yeah.
But as soon as I hear just Money by itself, like especially on the radio, I shut it off or I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I found another Pink Floyd album in my stack of records.
Oh, really? What'd you find?
I forgot what it was. So,
Amagama?
So that one I showed you. Yeah. I got another one. It's a soundtrack to an album. I'm sorry. It's a soundtrack to a movie. And it's not,
Oh, I think you said something to me about this, didn't you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because you showed it to me, didn't you?
No, I showed you Amagama.
You brought this up already because I'm having a glitch in the Matrix, and we talked about this already in my head.
I think you're having a glitch in the Matrix.
Oh, maybe, but it was like a fucking.
Oh, it's obscured by clouds.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were talking about. Never mind.
Which I guess was a soundtrack to La Vallée or some shit. I don't know. Sounds like some French film or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's a French film that I've never seen and I probably never see. Oh no, actually, now I'll probably see it because the Pink Floyd made the album for it. But
yeah,
it was a weird one to come across because I was like, for one, I'm like, I've never heard of this, but here it is in my hands.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah, my uncle had a lot of. Well, he was dead, and I took his records.
I mean, that's kind of what I figured someone would do with my records when I die.
Yeah.
Kind of hoping my kid gets them. I figure at this point he's been listening to them almost as much as I have, so he's fine. I'm letting him press the buttons, like to start and stop it, and like lift.
I think it's pretty awesome how involved he is with the instruments, the music, the records, everything. Because shit, I wish that there was somebody like that when I was a kid. That's like, check this out. No, you want to listen to this. No, you want to play this. Fuck no, dude. I was just.
It's not even like. I mean, part of that's like part of your growing, like in learning phase. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have everything give you. Like, I don't give him everything. Like, I'm not gonna frickin' give him my nice ass Audio Technica.
No. What I mean is like actively doing it with him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Cool. That's what I think is cool.
Yeah, because
that's how you grow. That's how you learn your likes and dislikes. Like sometimes too. It's
is that how you do it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe not because that's not how I did it. So, but it's like I don't know. I can just imagine like your kid, like 40 years, like, oh, my dad and I used to listen to this all the time when I was a kid, right before he beat my ass. But
It's why I hate. What was the freaking movie? Oh fuck!
I hate the Eagles, man.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
I actually have an Eagles album,
I know,
but I don't really like the Eagles that much, so I don't know when I'm going to listen to it.
Yeah, that's why I got CCR.
Got some
Everybody
Beatles records. I really don't care about the Beatles either.
I've never been a huge Beatles fan. Everybody I remember it was a really unpopular opinion I had not liking the Beatles that much when I was in college because
people like crucify you for that shit.
Well, like I was in this
Same with Grateful Dead.
recording arts and productions class with like it was a like you learn how to work in a record or a recording studio.
Sure.
It was a cool class, but the teacher like loved using the Beatles for things because it's partly because they did a lot of cool shit, don't get me wrong, but I feel like, you just look to the right and you see Pink Floyd and you're like, "Oh, that's better." Which I guess, the Beatles, I think the Beatles came out before Pink Floyd. I mean,
I believe so, yeah. So, I mean, the Beatles have some jams that I actually do enjoy, but I just don't think that they're a band that I could really listen to all the time or just like half the time. There's like seriously out of their whole catalog, there's like 2 or 3 songs that I don't mind. But otherwise, it's just, I'm like, dude, this sucks. This sucks. And I feel the same way about Grateful Dead.
Yeah, I never really listened to Grateful Dead either.
I've tried too because of how much they're hyped up and everything, but they are what they are. Let's see. So we'll just jump right into Blood Incantation here. It looks like Time Wave Zero came out in 2022, which is this guy here. Now, I listened to this last night.
Oh, you can't see mine. Is it because the picture's cropped?
Where's yours?
It's back there, but you have the fucking things cropped so you can't see. Oh, there you go.
Ah, there we are.
Yeah,
that's better. But yeah, so not at all like Black Label Society.
It's not really true in a sense. I mean, there's guitars,
there's sounds and noises,
bass and drums.
I guess you could say there's like blackness. I don't know, like a void.
Well, so when did you first start? I mean, I guess we can just go into a history of when you started listening to Blood Incantation. BI, as they're known for short.
So, all right. What's funny you say that. There's actually a K-pop K-idol called BI. Blood Incantation. I learned about, I don't know, probably 5-6 months ago. Really? I was looking at I was scrolling through concerts to see what I may or may not be able to go to and so on and so forth. And I learned about this festival in Montana. I think I told you about it, called Fire in the Mountains. And,
you did say that.
It looks like such a fantastic time. I wish I could go. We just live too far away. And Wardruna's headlining. Blood Incantation will be there, so on and so forth. A bunch of other bands and shit. It looks awesome. But yeah, so Blood Incantation. I saw they were playing, and I thought that's a really peculiar name. That sounds really badass. I hope they are as badass as their name, because unfortunately, a lot of times in metal and all kinds of music, you do come across a really cool name, and then you listen to it, you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Moving on. But no, Blood Incantation was not a band I moved on from. I thought they were fantastic. The one thing I will say was initially I didn't give them the time that they deserved, because kind of like Sleep, like a dope smoker with that 90 million freaking minute.
Okay.
Exactly. It was like one of those ones where, I'm sitting there before one of my shifts begins or something, and I start playing their music, and then I realize, oh shit, this is 25 minutes and I've got to clock in 7.
Yeah.
But the first time that I actually listened to one of their tracks, that's kind of funny to say, one of their tracks, all the way through, was when you sent me the video for it was actually from Absolute Elsewhere. It was the Stargate.
Oh yeah, that only came out a little while ago.
Yeah, so that was when you sent me that video. I watched that. Probably I wasted a lot of time that day. I watched it on my phone halfway through, and then I decided, this is stupid. I'm going to sit on my couch and turn my TV on.
Yeah.
and watch it there. And then I watched it, and then my wife came downstairs. I said, "You need to watch this." So we watched it. We watched it again, and I watched it a few more times after that, like the next day or whatever. But wow, what a masterpiece! What a terribly wonderful masterpiece. So yeah. All in all, I'd say as a serious listener, it's probably been about 3-4 months, maybe.
So I want to say I first came across him like, I don't know if it was the Star Spawn album or I know for sure Hidden History of the Human Race is when I actually really started like listening to him, because I just remember it came up on like a, you know, like a Spotify, it'll make those metal
Yeah.
lists. And I remember seeing the album cover on there and I would listen to it, but I didn't realize it was like concept album stuff. So you kind of need to listen to the whole album to really.
Of course.
And so I'd hear it and I was like, oh, that's neat. You know, that's cool. And then Time Wave came out and I was getting into like synthwave and stuff around, well, you know, around like the 2017 time, I think. And I started getting into synthwave and stuff, and like my buddies were talking about it, and then I heard that and was like, "Ooh, that's like John Carpenter movie status. Like this is done right." And
it's
then
like, it makes me, yeah, it makes me think of I don't know if you've seen it, Into the Mouth of Madness.
I don't think I've seen that one. I'll have to look it up.
That's
I would just play it in the background while I was playing Tarkov, and it would be like a horror movie. Like if you played at night with like in the rain in Tarkov and that was playing, it was just perfect.
Absolutely. The so yeah, the Time Wave Zero I actually listened to after Absolute Elsewhere. I don't really think it makes much of a difference with these albums what you listen to first, because they're not movies. It's not like it's a sequel.
No, I mean it's just how you freaking get into them. You can't.
Yeah. Really... And now the first one I listened to was the Absolute Elsewhere, because that Stargate. I love that video so much that I listened to that first. But I'm going to start with the Time Wave Zero, because I listened to that last night, and after I moved around some stuff downstairs, and I repositioned the vinyl player and everything, the turntable and whatnot, and I put that Time Wave Zero on, and I don't remember what I was doing. I think I started like making dinner, like prepping my lunch for today or something, and I stopped. I just stopped what I was doing, and I sat down, and I'm like, I almost feel like this is wrong. I almost feel like somebody somehow, obviously the members of the band, found out a way to make music that's going to open some kind of portal to another dimension here, and it's going to suck my soul out. And it's such a creepy listen. It's such a like mind-blowing, like disturbing sound, but I couldn't stop listening to it
because I really like it with headphones. But I listened to it the other day with the subwoofer on the speakers. I usually don't listen to the speakers that often with the vinyl, or with the subwoofer, I should say, just because like there's so much low end.
Yeah.
On even with some bass cuts and stuff, it's still like the subwoofer's just like blah, 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 blah. And but that music, because I can do some EQ tricks to get the subwoofer not so flubby.
Yeah.
And listening to that was really cool because the subwoofer just fucking punches you.
I can only
I was just sitting there like laying back in my chair, just like
yeah. It's the kind of music. So both I like.
Well, do you know anything about the freaking titles? Because like I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know anything about like why they named their titles like that. Because I know like the Absolute Elsewhere stuff, you know, was from that band Absolute Elsewhere, which was from that album In Search of Ancient Gods. And I started reading those books. That, right? Oh yeah, I got that, and I started reading the books that they're based on. I can't remember the dude's name. I have to look at the freaking album cover. I can't remember the guy's name. Daniken. But the IO and the EA thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the heck that's in reference to. I wonder if that's.
I'm not sure. I was gonna look into it, but I hadn't yet. Because it's pretty peculiar. I wouldn't mind knowing either. But no, that the Stargate, all that made me think of was Stargate. Yeah. Stargate SG-1.
Well, Stargate, like I found that I was up super early, like before I had to get the kid to school, and it was probably like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I just happened to see it was like right, I don't know if it was 6 months ago, but when was it? Actually, it could have been about 6 months ago, right when the the music video actually dropped, and I just saw like, oh, freaking Blood Incantation or Stargate, and I'm like, oh, that looks neat, and I'm like, 20 minutes. That's what fucking. I was just like, no fucking way. And I was like, okay, let's check this out. So I started playing it, and just immediately it was just like, yes, because it just has everything you need, like a little Lord of the Rings thing, the space stuff, was it like the Lovecraft kind of like stuff at
Yeah,
the end.
Lovecraftian, no,
Yeah,
it's
that stuff, the freaking the Pink Floyd solo in the middle there. You're just like, wow.
that's the thing. Like, it's like if you took a big fucking cauldron and you threw in some Pink Floyd, some Frank Zappa, some Tool, maybe a little Mastodon or something in there.
Somebody
Devin
was saying,
Townsend, put some
like
Townsend in there, and
freaking
all of a sudden you've got this explosion of fucking insanity
what did they say?
that's
They said
wonderful to listen to.
Opeth walked so Blood Incantation could
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking like I think the other day my thoughts were if you took Opeth and a little bit of Townsend and kind of combined them, but
Even Gojira a little bit. Like they got that they do that string raking thing that Gojira kind of was known
yeah,
for.
I actually I really want to get Alien by Strapping Young Lad on vinyl. One of Devin Townsend's last albums is called Light Work. It's a really great one. But anyway, the we've already talked about it, but this analog setup, it just opens it opens a whole new spectrum for your music listening.
Well, like I got so I went through and bought the wave files for Stargate.
Mhm.
It was like $10. You could get the album on the wave file format, which was like supposed to be like the lossless quality, best audio, whatever, for the digital side of things.
Sure.
And so I was listening to it. It sounds really good. Don't get me wrong. Like I have a good DAC and a good amp and a fairly decent setup to enjoy digital music too. But the listening to it on analog is just on vinyl is so much more. I don't know. I just like it better. I don't care what people say.
Yeah, man. No, it's so I remember I did a report in my public speaking class in college a couple years ago about why people should buy physical media instead of continuing to buy digital downloads, and of course nobody gives a shit. But I remember explaining like that the to date, like I think the compact disc is going to have your best sound quality on a physical thing, but it's only by like you know paper specs. You know what I mean? Uh, by specifications, by fact. Yes, it's like by definition the best sound.
Yeah, on
quality,
paper, like
that's what I mean.
you're not necessarily wrong. I mean, nowadays I think you can get you just have a little thumb drive with freaking some wave files on it. Same idea.
But yeah, but
Um,
that said, the vinyl. I mean, there's warmth. There's like an
well,
organic.
yeah, because
feeling.
vinyl cuts off high frequencies like naturally in the pressing
Yeah,
process, like when they convert it from
it's so
the
comfortable.
digital tape tracks or whatever the heck they're doing. It's to me, it's more ear pleasing, like
Yeah,
especially through a tube amp. Like some stuff doesn't maybe sound the best through a tube amp,
hmm
just because like certain fast paced metal is kind of a little bit much for a
sure.
tube amp. But then it's like I can plug in the freaking speakers and listen to that. I don't care. But plus I have some other freaking solid state uh, amps I can use if I really need to.
Sure.
But no, it definitely sounds better to me.
Yeah, the both of them, the time waves. I'm definitely going to be picking up everything else they have on vinyl too. Um, this Absolute Elsewhere was such a fantastic. Once again, like it's funny saying like, oh, it's a great album. It's 2 songs,
Yeah.
but no, that's such a great piece, and I love seeing this art too. The music and the art they go together so well. it makes me think of The Sword. It makes me think of Sleep, kind of.
It's even if you take away like the music aspect, it looks cool.
Yeah, that's what I
Like,
mean.
it looks like something that's interesting. Like
It makes me think of what's his name? Flash Gordon. Makes me think of
like the
Heavy
Skeletor.
Metal, the old animated film Heavy
It's
Metal.
just like you're like looking at it, you're just like, oh, I want to go on this little pathway up to you. I want to know where that leads.
Makes me think of Rick's Toilet World.
Oh yeah, Rick and Morty.
But no, definitely super good. Actually, I think I'm
The
gonna.
other thing I really like about vinyls though too is like you get things with vinyls, like you get the little freaking inner
Oh yeah, I know.
stuff.
I'm
They
gonna
usually give you
frame
posters.
I'm gonna
Actually,
frame the poster that I got.
you get the did you get the CD with it too?
So I don't think
Mine came with a CD.
I don't think there's one with Absolute Elsewhere. I could be wrong though.
Well, no, mine came with one. That's what I'm saying.
Time Wave Zero did.
No, Time Wave came with one too, but the one I bought, the Blood Incantation one I bought came with a CD, and it also came with, I think it came with a freaking download.
No CD for Absolute Elsewhere, but that doesn't bum me out.
Probably fell out on your fucking porch.
No, it was so the Time Wave Zero one. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I was going to ask you about that, but you brought it up instead. There's actually a CD. How it was when I opened up the package, took off the plastic, the vinyl I noticed was in there like that, it was in the sleeve, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. And I looked in where the vinyls usually are, and I see that CD in there. I'm like, oh shit, hell yeah. I thought maybe it was a DVD or something, but no, it's a CD, which is
it's cool. It's like you're now paying $20 or $30, and you're getting 2 forms of physical copies.
Yeah, exactly. It is nice. Even when they give you like a digital download, that's also pretty cool too. I guess it doesn't matter too much for me because that turntable can burn vinyls onto your computer, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. No, when I saw that, I was just like, fuck. What?
There's a little bit of a delay there, but you seem to be good now. But yeah, that's a pretty cool feature. I'm trying to decide which album I want to try that with. I guess it doesn't matter, but I'm curious to see how it's going to work because I've seen that kind of thing before with much shittier turntables, but it wasn't putting them on a computer. It was burning them to a disc, and like it doesn't give you tracks. It's all one track,
Oh yeah, so like it just burns it into one file kind of thing,
which is better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, I was kind of pissed off with the wave file thing I got because it's like I have to use a Windows media player, but it doesn't like put them in order. I have to like specifically load them. There's probably some way around it that I'm just not smart enough to figure out.
Windows media player, that's such a joke of an application. As once again, better than nothing. And if you got your music on there, that's cool. I was really bummed out when iTunes or Apple discontinued or stopped supporting iTunes, because that was where I had all of my music on my computer.
But yeah, it's like you were just talking about. Fucking physical forms of media are better to have, because what happens when Spotify just is like, oh, we're discontinuing.
Well, and that's the thing. It's not even just music. It's games, movies, anything you buy off of Amazon, anything you buy off of
Steam or
Xbox Live Marketplace, Steam, stuff like that. They can take that away at a moment's notice. And just because you bought it doesn't mean you're going to be able to play it. I think usually you're safe if you've already bought it. It might still be there. It always depends, but all you're buying is a license to play something, to watch something. And that's why it's awesome to have all of these things, because I mean, let's face it, if you bought it, you probably like the music. I would hope so.
Yeah.
But also you have something you can hold on to, something that, I mentioned this in the report I had to do. Like if it's Christmas time, whatever, your kid, your grandkid, your brother, nephew, whatever, it doesn't matter. Hey, you know what? Merry Christmas. I think you really like this. I want you to have it. I love it. It's part of my life here. I want to give it to you. You can't do that with a digital download,
No.
And I just think it's important. It's important to document this cool ass shit, and it's important to just keep it going. And then, you also it's also bragging rights. If that's something that people care about it. I
There's
don't
your
necessarily
ego.
care about it, but
There's your ego coming in, bragging rights.
hey, I mean, it's true, man. I mean, when it comes to
Or
fans,
gatekeeping. Is that what the kids say?
gatekeeping. That's I get it, but I think it's so stupid. I mean,
Just find the keymaster.
gosh, I remember when I saw Black Love Society in Wisconsin. It was their last show before they stopped. I think it was like one of the very last shows, period, before COVID made everything stop. Um, the show was over. They came and handed me the guitar, and I looked inside. I was like, "Awesome, cool, thanks." And then this dude comes over. He's like, "Hey, can I get a picture of your set list?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, how about, do you have $5? And he's like, "What the fuck ever, man? Fuck you." And I looked in his hand. He had a full beer. I'm like, "Well, I mean, I know you paid at least like $10 for that."
I know, right?
I'm like, "I paid $2,000 for this set list." So, I mean, and
I remember I got a set list from I don't know where it is anymore, but it was from fucking Psycho Stick. Like, I just grabbed it off the stage after the show.
oh yeah,
It's like,
but yeah, there was a dude next to me who got the same package, but he bought it at the day of the show. Like, I bought mine ahead of time. It doesn't make a difference, but he was like, "Oh, I would have let him take a picture of the set list." I'm like, "Well, then why didn't you stop him?"
You're like, why didn't you give him one?
At first I'm like, maybe I'm being a dick, but I'm like, no, I'm not. I paid $2,000 for this. I don't care. Fuck that guy.
It's also like, if that guy's gonna be a poon about it, like,
Exactly. I mean, he could have laughed
can't
it
even
off.
take a joke.
I probably would have been like, "Hey man, why don't you come on back?" But he was kind of a dick, so.
Yeah, freaking, what are you gonna do?
But no, man, I sure wish I could go see that Blood Incantation at that festival. That'd be so kick ass. But guess I'll just be waiting to see him when they roll through KC or something, or maybe if I'm on vacation in California, or who knows.
I know, I'm waiting to see so many bands.
It's been a while since you've been to a show, right?
Yeah, that Toxic Holocaust show, and who else was there? Fucking Havoc.
Oh yeah.
I Am. Who else was there? There's two other bands there. I can't remember their names, but
I met Havoc.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I met them right outside of the venue. I didn't go to the show. They were playing, but I had to go somewhere else. I think it was like I don't remember why, but I couldn't go to the show. So I was walking by the venue, and I had one of my books that I wrote, and I featured them in my book. So I tried to just catch them as they were like doing their sound check or whatever, and they walked right out, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? Are you Havoc?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Are you the Havocs?
Are you the Havoc? And they're like, "Yeah, that's us." I'm like, "Hey, I wrote this book, and you guys are in it, and I just want to give you a copy and say like your music's pretty fucking kick ass. So here you go." And they're like, "Oh, thanks, dude. That's kick ass." They were super cool, but I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're fucking ear splitting though. Like, that dude's voice is not like in a bad way, in a sense like it's not good music. Like, it's just the way that dude's voice like rings. You're just like, "Arr!"
Oh yeah. No, that's kind of like the vocalist from Death Angel, who I feel like is very similar sounding to Tom Araya, but he still has his voice. And that dude can freaking wail. And it's one of those ones where I have no shame wearing hearing protection. There's been dudes at concerts that have been like, "Oh, like, why don't you take those out?" And I'm like, because I value my hearing, man. Like,
bitch.
You call me whatever you want, because you know what? You're right. But
Absolutely. At this point, like, I probably need to be wearing ear protection at shows or when I play guitar or something, but I don't.
I ask people what way too much. What was that?
That's what's weird. Sorry. I went and got my so like I thought I was deaf, or like dying, or not dying, but like
going deaf
because I was like, I can't hear anything. I can't hear people talking, and freaking I went and got a hearing test done, like one of the fancy ones too, where they like not just like the
yeah
fucking not just that one. They actually like stick the thing in there and they do like the pressures and stuff, and then they did a couple other tests. Apparently I have like perfect hearing.
Isn't that weird?
And I'm like, dude, I can't hear anything.
This is
I'm like, what are you?
impossible.
I'm
Oh,
like,
it's just. I
what are
think
you
it comes down to that
fucking?
we just don't care.
Yeah, actually, so that's what fucking. It kind of came down to that. They're like, well, we provide this other service about what do they call it? I can't remember what the thing was. It's some kind of cognitive thing, but I'm like, it basically just came down to like your brain like automatically shuts off like when you just don't give a fuck about things, and it's just
like cats.
And so you're trying to like sift through like people's bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like you're hearing just like blah, blah, blah. It sounds like, you know, what is it? The Peanuts freaking Charlie Brown. Yeah, the freaking adults. It just sounds like that like 90% of the time, and then you pick out like specific words like heavy metal. And
Yeah.
you're like, what?
Yeah.
You talking about metal?
But oh man, so the Havoc, the place where I met them outside of, is the same place where I saw High on Fire, and I feel bad for the girl, but it was pretty hilarious. We saw two bands play before them. They were one of them was all right, the other one was pretty terrible. I don't even remember what they were called, but there was a couple next to us. They were probably like 10 years younger than us. And the dude was super stoked to see High on Fire. He liked High on Fire a lot and blah, blah, blah. And which I am pretty proud to say that I introduced High on Fire to you. Maybe not introduced, but I got you to listen to him eventually.
You got me listening to him more.
Every
like,
time I kept saying, hey, let's play High on Fire. You're like, no, I'm not playing that.
I've known about High on Fire for years since I was a little kid. It's just I never freaking listened to him. I was always listening to something else, and then whenever it came on, it was because I think I told you it was like in that
man, I believe
era. Fuck you, fucking Mr. I can't swim.
Hey, that's a disability, man. All right.
No, freaking. I've always heard him, but everybody, it's like, you know, at school, like we were talking about the ego thing, right?
Yeah.
So everybody at school that
it's like
would ever wear a High on Fire shirt was usually one of the emo kids. Like they had like the little earrings and the fucking hair, you know? And yeah, but yours are whatever.
These are runes. It was a Christmas present.
Well, no, I'm talking about like freaking
I know what you mean.
the freaking emo kid earrings with like the feathery hair. And they would always like one of the guys was wearing a High on Fire shirt, so I just never got into him because of that.
I understand that. It's like you see somebody wearing something, and that person that's wearing it, you don't give a fuck about, and you're like, I never want to be associated with you. And when that includes, labels,
it sucks because they actually wore some pretty cool band shirts.
Yeah,
it's like shit. I should have been fucking listening to that.
Yeah.
This whole time.
But anyway, yeah, this couple that's there, the dude's super excited. Yeah, I love High on Fire. I'm like, yeah, me too, man. They're pretty cool. I've been waiting to see High on Fire for years. And the girl, she was the first concert she'd ever been to. She looked like, I don't know, a Powerpuff Girl, man. I don't know. It's the first thing that comes to mind. A painted marshmallow. And she was nice. She was pleasant. She was really nice. Probably shouldn't have been in a High on Fire show though. And as soon as he starts playing, this dude in his fucking underwear, so this place is pretty cool. It's called Record Bar in KC. The stage, there's really not any security. There's no rail in front of the stage or nothing. And to go to the bathroom, you walk past the stage. Like you go to the back of the the place to go to the
you're behind the stage. You're just like backstage. Like,
yeah, you do actually. You can literally like walk on the stage. They're gonna tell you get the fuck off, but you can do it. Yeah. It's a tiny venue and it's pretty kick ass because I'm sure you probably feel the same way. The smaller venues are usually the best ones.
Yeah,
but
paid $13 to see freaking Toxic Holocaust for
hell yeah. But yeah, so this dude, I guess, went to the restroom and just took all his clothes off and then just booked it out of there, ran across the stage and into the crowd, and he fucking bulldozed over this chick, like just flattens her on the ground. She gets up and she's like, it looked like she was in a car accident. She gets up just kind of like, and it really hadn't hit her yet. And I'm like, are you all right? And she's like,
I need help.
And I asked her, I'm like, are you okay? And she's like,
no.
And her boyfriend's just like, huh. And my wife's like, why don't you get her some water or something? He's like, oh yeah. it was
Tylenol, Jesus.
it was something else. They left immediately, and
Yeah.
I'm like, she's never gonna go to a concert again.
Was
And
it that? I think I told you about the
Roy, you
one. I'm
made
not
cry
gonna.
with Monomarth.
No, not that. Freaking, that's what I went to. But I won't say the names of the people. But I was at a Red Fang show, and it was Red Fang in Macedon,
Oh,
and it was the first time I ever seen Red Fang, and it was back when the singer still had long, or the bassist dude still had long hair. But they played Prehistoric Dog when they opened up, and I wasn't ready for. I had no idea who fucking
I think
Red
that's
Fang
what they
was.
opened with when we saw him too.
Yeah, maybe were you with me?
I was with you in Reno.
No, we weren't in Reno. This was a different one. This was before that Reno
This was
show.
when
But,
that bitch stole my hat, and then I stole
oh
it
yeah,
back.
that was hilarious. Walking 2 miles through a fucking snowstorm in Reno to go see Red Fang. That
It was
was
worth
great. But no, so this was probably a couple years before that. I want to say it was, I can't remember. I think it was on their second album. They were touring for their second album, maybe. But either way, same thing. Just the girl that was there had probably, I don't think she'd ever really been to like an actual metal show. You know, she might have been to like something where they played loud music at some point, but like when we were down like in the pit at the Warfield, I think it was, and like it got fucking, you know, bodies were flying real quick, and she just got fucking speared by something just out of nowhere. Like it was like, you know, like in the movies, like you're talking to someone, then they're just gone. And I was like looking around, and I'm just like, where'd she go? Doing the John Travolta, just
Batman's hanging out in this place,
yeah.
scooping
And
people up.
then I just remember that happened, and I just ran to tried to like jump to the front. I was like, I gotta see this, and then I don't know what happened to the rest of them. I lost him after that. I don't think I saw him again that show.
Nice. Well, that's cool. Yeah, no, that Red Fang in Reno, that was something else. That trek through the snow for one.
Yeah.
There was also that shitty steak dinner that we had at that casino.
That fucking angered me. I always get pissed off about fucking shitty steak dinners, especially at a steakhouse where like you got one
should be
fucking
better
specialty.
than what you make at home.
Well, oh yeah, I should not be able to make a steak like, and I'm not even talking like I don't even make that great of steaks in the freaking grand aspect of things. It's like butter, cast iron, ribeye, some garlic, maybe some thyme,
Sure,
salt. That's all you need. But even then, like I've had like a $300 steak dinner one time, fucking in it was a Cote de Boeuf. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but God, it was good. That was amazing.
yeah, that
Definitely would never pay for that again, but
no. Jubs it was the name of the venue that we saw Red Fang at, and I'm kind of bummed out. I really liked that venue. I liked how there was that separate room where you it had the bar in it, where you drink, smoke, whatever, and then of course you go through the other door, and that's your venue that also had a bar in it. But they are no longer open. I don't know if they've since been bought or anything, but that place did close down, which is kind of a bummer. I don't live in Reno anyway, so whatever. But no, I do love a good shitty venue. The last thing I'll touch on here, we've gotten through our vinyls, talked about shitty McDonald's and whatnot, but venues. So there was a place in KC. It's where I saw Psycho Stick, and it's the first time I saw Vitriol with Vader, which is a fantastic band to see live. But it was called the Riot Room in KC, and it was an awesome little venue. Unbeknownst to me, I wasn't living here at the time, but I guess it was scheduled to close down anyway. I don't know why, but they were closing. But they had some really cool acts that came through there. And what was awesome about it was, again, tiny venue. One side of it was a room that wasn't huge. It was probably about the size of your living. Actually, it's probably smaller than your family room where you have your guitars and stuff. But there was a big giant round bar and couple chairs to the stools to the side, and it's usually where the bands had their merch tables too, and they had monitors in there to what you could just sit at the bar and watch the concert right there, and then go like that and look around the corner and see them playing there too. And then of course in the room where they were actually playing, it was the same thing like this place I saw High on Fire. There was no security, there's no barricade or fence or whatever. It was just the band playing. I thought I was going to get hurt really bad when Vitriol was playing. I had Jameson in my hand. It was gone within the matter
Like,
of
let's go.
and man, that was fucked. There was also the
oddly enough, the only freaking mosh pit I've ever been in where I actually started to get like
nervous.
I don't want to say like scared, like like a little nervous because
Apprehensive.
it was just getting. It was so. It was a fucking Bad Religion show, and it was something like because there's not really any lulls in punk music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Where like metal, you get like the breakdown or something. You can
break
kind of
down solos.
I gotta rest. No,
Yeah.
Bad Religion, man, it was just fucking again and again. It's like running, just sprinting the whole time.
Oh, there. I think I'm going to be seeing Bad Religion. Actually,
It's a fun show. I think I've seen them twice now, maybe once.
ooh.
I don't know.
Anyway, I can't remember who I'm seeing him with, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be seeing him. But
Yeah.
but no, the so this place it was Vader was headlining, Vitriol, Abysmal Dawn, which is a death metal band from LA. They were really good. Some band I think from Italy called Hideous Divinity. I never heard of them. I didn't really care, but they were playing. They weren't bad. And then a local band in KC called Garroted, and
I don't know why that name sounds cool.
they were not. So my favorite band the whole night was Vitriol. It was the first time I'd heard of them. I watched them play. I met all the dudes. They signed my shit. They were super cool.
Yeah, when you sent me that, I think you sent me Vitriol, right?
Yeah, I did.
Because I was blown away by Hive Lung.
I was like,
because like
amazing.
I was also going through like a black metal phase, like with the I think it was like Cannon Fiber.
Cannon Fiber.
Yeah, the German
yeah,
the German heavy metal one or black metal one. And so I'm like listening to that, but then I never really got into that like how Vitriol's just so speed. It's just it's like fucking just fucking blast beats all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, at first I was like a little off put, but then I'm just like, dude, this is fucking amazing. Because you actually like hear like what he's playing, and you're like, that's not easy what he's doing.
Yeah, no, of course. But yeah, so Garroted, although Vitriol is my favorite band of the night, this band called Garroted, they were local to KC. I think they started in Nebraska or something, but local to KC at this point. And I was so impressed with them because they looked like they went there with nothing. They like as their setup and everything, their instruments and everything, it was like almost anemic to describe it. And their drummer was like 300 pounds. And I'm just imagining like this dude has to be so out of breath and like dying because he was playing so fast and so hard. It was amazing. But I was just like, dude, this is wow. But anyway, this venue, it was so cool. It was such a good venue, but eventually it was right before I moved back to Missouri, right before I moved back to this area that a fire engine blew through an intersection, hit a car that was parked, I guess, and just launched it into this venue and like demolished the whole thing. If you look up Riot Room, Kansas City, you'll see the place in ruins. And I guess the place, like I said, was already closing anyway, but I was just kind of bummed. But we touched on a lot there. Talked about some Black Label Society, some couple really awesome releases.
The sad part is, we're going to talk about this again.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to come. You're like, you remember that Stargate?
Yeah, no, that's definitely one. Yeah, there will be like a part two, a revisited, if you will. But
yeah, we'll have to go through the movie or the music video, scene by scene.
Oh yeah,
we'll watch it scene by scene and break it down.
Oh yeah, that's a must. But yeah, talked about that.
It'll be like what's that fucking the show with the silhouettes of the robots watching the thing on the theater. Oh, what the hell is that?
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, we can do that with like music videos. It'll be like a different Beavis and Butthead.
There's an idea.
Like music videos. Like someone.
Yeah,
damn it, Pantera, come on the yard.
Get me a beer, Pantera. This one's warm. Treat your stepmother with respect, Pantera. You'd be sleeping in the street. Oh yeah, good times there. But all in all, no, I'd say touched on a lot there. That's pretty cool, and I think some of those things you mentioned, we'll have to dive into that
later
with
time and
some
date.
decent depth at a later time. Yeah, but for now, hope y'all enjoyed this. This is the pilot, if you will, episode 1, the Vinyl Menace. And yeah, I'm. You have anything there you want to add, Ian?
Nah, just have a good time all the time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The life is life, and all you gotta do is live it. But I'm Dave Candido with the Heavy Metal Marksman, and this is my pal Ian. And thank you for listening.